So it's Wednesday, February 11th, a few days after the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna go into the Super Bowl itself, the game, which I didn't really enjoy. I think it was kind of boring, whatever. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I'm not talking about the halftime, whatever your opinion is on whichever halftime show you watch, but I'm just talking about the game itself. Like, I didn't really enjoy it, but I just want to talk about sports in the Hasidic community. I don't think I ever spoke about sports in any of my previous videos, so I just want to touch on it a little. If you're new here to this channel, I'm Nico. I grew up Hasidic, and I left probably like 3-4 months ago, maybe a little more. You could go back to my first few videos, like I explain a little more about my personal life and more about the Hasidic community, so you can go check it out. So sports in the Hasidic community is kind of an interesting thing. So it's not, Judaism has a lot of rules, laws, restrictions. I don't think sports is officially prohibited, but it's just a thing that you don't do. So in the Hasidic community, we don't really play any sports. Every Hasidic sect is kind of different. Some are a little more open-minded about sports, some are a little more extreme. I'll just talk about my experience. So the only sports we play, and I don't mean play on a professional level, just at school, at summer camps. So the only sports we play are soccer and volleyball. No football, basketball, baseball. Just kind of interesting, because the thing why we don't play sports is that we don't do things that the Goyim do, the non-Jews do, because we're better than the dirty Goyim. So that's why we don't play football, baseball. But that's kind of funny, because we do play soccer, and I think soccer is probably the most popular sport in the world, but could be because it's not really an American sport. That's why we are allowed to play soccer. And football and basketball, the other sports are more American sports. So I don't know the reason why. It is kind of interesting, because we do play soccer, but we don't really play other sports. Growing up, I knew about basketball and baseball. I mean, I didn't know about the leagues, the NBA or MLB, but I knew that there's such a game, because even though we don't really play basketball, we had a basketball net in the summer camp, and we had a baseball field, but we don't really play it. Football is the only game that until a few years ago, I didn't really know that there's such kind of sport. I mean, I saw football, the ball itself, but I never knew that there's such a game and what the game is, which is crazy. I'm 25, so in my late teens or early 20s, I didn't know about like sports stars like, you know, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Tom Brady. Like, we don't really know about all those guys. So not only aren't we allowed to play any of those sports, we're not allowed to watch it. So I explained this in previous videos. I spoke about it more. We're not allowed to have any TVs, and we don't really have any internet access. So that's also a reason why I didn't grow up watching sports. Because, you know, we don't really have access. Not like we come home on Sundays or whatever, just turn on the TV and, you know, go watch stuff. We don't really have access to all those kind of stuff. So yeah, until like probably like 3-4 years ago, I didn't know about football at all. I had a friend that he was like very into sports, so he kind of introduced me to football, and yeah, like I really enjoy the game. I love watching football. So there's a number, like a phone number you could call in, and it has a lot of like news stations, radio, sport shows, and all the cool Hasidic boys who are into sports. You know, we can't watch it, so we call in. It has like live games or just shows about sports. So I used to call in daily, just listen to the shows. Yeah, that was basically my connection to sports, and I really enjoyed it, like listening to shows, because like even though the person who makes the show, the person on the show who talks, like he doesn't know you, but if you listen a lot to a certain show, you kind of feel connected to that guy. You know a lot about him, and that was kind of thing. Like I had some like rough times in the past few years. You know, you could feel, you know, life sucked, so you know you don't really have anyone like that understands you, or like just give you, you know, a nice good morning. But listening to the shows, the sport shows, it's kind of interesting because you get kind of connected to like certain people, the like person you listen to, and you feel a part of them. You feel like you're their friend, even though they don't know you, but you know so much about them because you listen like daily to the show. So, you know, when they started the show with, you know, good morning, good afternoon, you feel like it's personal, like someone tells you good morning. So that was kind of cool. And they don't listen just because of that, it's just cool. So yeah, so that was basically my sports experience for the past few years, you know, until recently, you know, once I got out of the cage, could start, you know, watching games. So yeah, this is just all I had to say. You know, the Super Bowl was just a few days ago, so I thought I'll just make something about sports, because I never spoke about sports in any of the previous videos. So yeah, peace out.